Oh man, that was my favorite song from that Seiko clock, or Psycho clock. No, I think it's Seiko clock, however you pronounce it. That was my favorite song from it ever since we first got it. And it'll be significant in this chapter later on. Welcome back to another chapter of Mortal Kombat Return of the Dragon King. Last time, we just traversed through the Chaos Realm, and Hanzo and Kung Lao actually found and recruited Havoc, the cleric, who was actually outraged by Onaga's second coming. So, he was also outraged because he was pretty sure that Hotaru, the warrior of Sato and Order, would actually serve Onaga along with his undead legions, unlike the free will of Shao Kahn. So, naturally, Havoc is actually going to assist the warriors out. So, let's see what happens next. Alright, continuation 6. Darkness Brewing. Ugh, this sounds foreboding. In Lu's tomb, Kenshi and his team emerged from the blind man's portal. Unfortunately, neither warrior knew the location of the last relic, the Temple of Elements. Lu suggested to contact either Kwai or Hanzo since they were the ninjas who sealed Shinnok's amulet away. Astonished of the former wraith's fate, Kenshi immediately sent a radio signal to whomever would reach it first. Hanzo carried the unconscious Kung Lao over his back, out from the Nexus and into the portal leading to Earthrealm. He figured it was the only safe haven he could be in aside from Outworld, where Onaga and his legions ran amok, or even the neighboring realm, Edenia. The Netherrealm was obviously out of the picture, as was the Chaos Realm, even the opposing Order Realm, and Hanzo wasn't confident on recruiting Hotaru, who greatly warred against the cleric Havoc. Aiko received a sensation as if she felt something, then a pang in her chest with a few palpitations. She then gazed into the heart gem which ignited in brightness and warmth, while Kenshi sensed Hanzo's essence telepathically. Startled that he was still alive, the OIA agent punched around his wristband and it gave a digital sound, like those in Defenders of the Realm. Kenshi, is that you? Hanzo? Heh, you're alive. Yeah, the Elder Gods gave me a second chance to fight, but I was unsuccessful. I was stranded in Outworld until I found Kung Lao. We were tasked in looking for the realm's champions to stop Onaga. We believe that the Kamidogu are too powerful. Are his power source when together. Good strategy there. I see. Aiko sensed something's wrong. How is Lao? He's unconscious. What happened? Did Onaga attack? Fortunately, no. We went into the Chaos Realm and found Havoc. I doubt Hotaru would be of some assistance. We have yet to find the representative of Edenia. However, with Shao Kahn reigning over it... Kenshi! Kenshi! Do you read me? Kenshi! The humanized soul noticed the radio signal went dead, as did the receiver. Hanzo! I lost contact. Hanzo, can you hear me? We lost the signal. Damn! Special Forces! Johnny, Sonia, and Jax must have disabled our devices. Unless... Aiko, I'll need your heart gem. She obliged. The OA agent spoke to Hanzo as Kung Lao's own jewel as an alternative route. Following the weak though distressed voice, Hanzo responded, I read you. Sonia and the others must have cut off our transmission. I doubt my telepathy can carry over to you for long. I still don't know who Adenia's champion should be. Sindel was muttering amongst Katana and Jade, who all shared the same uncertainty. Thinking there was no champion representing Adenia, an account since the realm lost 10 victories from Outworld, thus Khan's conquest for 10,000 years. It wasn't possible Katana and Sindel summarized they won't be eligible to use its Kamidogu, especially since it was merged with Outworld for too long a time. King Sharad broke the cloud of tension hanging over everyone as he offered for himself to become its champion. He might still have the former's essence collected by Shao Kahn. Better to bend the rules to save all realms. Those petty elder gods never cared when Earthrealm was invaded by Khan, nor when I died, nor of Aiko's dystopian future. Master Raiden and Fujjin both abandoned their positions, even when Shinnok attacked, and when I lost my life too. I may be champion, but if I were to override the rules for those I protect, then so be it. Better than killing Raiden. Thanks a lot, Chronica. Before they began a quarrel against the higher-ups, Sindel asked her husband to see if Ermac would find the identity of the past champion of Adenia. The onlookers, even the knights, could have sworn it was as if the collector's body was receiving mixed signals as it echoed transmissions from the thousands of dormant souls. About a minute later, his vessel silenced as he opened his eyes. His eyes were turned into a brighter, dirty gold. Even his skin rippled. I think I found him, my beloved. With this, I shall reunite with Hanzo and Kung Lao. They grew worried for their safety, while they pleaded him to be careful as they embraced him tightly and to never lose him again. Liu was more optimistic that as a collector of souls, thus housing some of the best dead warriors, he'll have the upper hand. Many souls were better than one. After all, I did possess Kung Lao's body against the deadly alliance and won. With a quick nod, Ermac offered him a fast ride to Kung Lao's and Hanzo's location near the ancient portal which was close by. Although Liu offered to make a quick pit stop first. He pointed toward the domed roof belonging to the Temple of Light. A bald monk in red garb was praying within an opaque chamber. The rows of candles began to flicker as if there was a rush of air. Yet still he was deep in the mantra with his head bowed. Grandfather! The whisper of Liu Kang brought him out of his reverie. Liu Kang! He rose a hand and assured he wasn't a hallucination, but rather he was real. Despite the stoop, Liu asked who Shujinko and Damashi were. I must know who they are. Shujinko was just a boy before I was even born. I'm certain you know him. Shujinko? I haven't heard that name in decades. The frail monk stated he knew Shujinko ever since he was a tween, always helping the townsfolk with many odd jobs, while often training himself to be the next champion. He was always so full of himself, like a local celebrity, even though most people were merely taking advantage of him, until one fateful day when he suddenly left the village and never returned. Grandfather, who is Damashi? Do you know anyone by that name? He sulked. No, I'm afraid not. Before Liu had the chance to object, Damashi is rather a Japanese word. For what? It means deception, Liu. Spirit's eyes grew as wide as the setting sun. Deception? As in... He rushed away. He implored where he was heading. I must meet up with Kung Lao and Hanzo. They need to know the truth. Liu Kang hollered for Ermac to take them to the ancient gateway. They left in the speed of light. So, Liu's grandfather knew who they were. Well, that and the Japanese word. Oh boy, Damashi means deception. Not good. Kwai and I arrived at the Temple of Elements via portal conjured by Raiden. If I'm correct, it shall be further north. They say it's hard to find, but it should be massive and elaborate enough to stick out like a sore thumb. The lime green light interrupted the conversation. Liu asked what was going on, and Hanzo explained Lao became delusional as they were investigating the Chaos Realm, which Gerard remembered venturing in once. The man formerly known as Scorpion also stated it wasn't possible to recruit Hotaru, as he may work for Onaga. They could just be fanatical as the cleric, but in the ways of strict order. Right. Unless perhaps we can find Shujinko, then maybe there's a chance. But, brother... Liu offered his spirit to revive Kung Lao, while also piecing together his mind like a jigsaw puzzle. He reminded Hanzo on merging their minds in some meditation sequences prior to Onaga's resurrection, and so his spirit faded as he entered into Lao's unconscious vessel. King... Hanzo and Gerard watched over him, even when he came to. Looks like you're coming around. Welcome back, Kung Lao. In Earthrealm, he was relieved. Lao rose slowly. Liu Kang, I heard and followed your voice in the dark. You've led me into the light from that void. Thank you, brother. Now's not the time for a reunion. Have you found all the champions yet? We need the victor from Edenia. But I cannot tell who it should be since Khan won over the realm for so damn long. We already found him. Lao was paralyzed with disbelief. Ermac! Wait! He's King Gerard. The stranger never flinched. He's King Gerard of Edenia. He's on our side. Kenshi Dice Khan's thrall over him. He's shown the Yaz symbol. With his legions still intact, he can help us deal with Onaga by impersonating Edenia's lost champion. Yes. However, we still must find Shujinko. Hanzo, he's too frail to fight. Better him than no one. Can you sense his soul, Your Majesty? Liu jested. I can try. Indeed, he is in his elderly state. Blurred vision entered his mind as he saw a hunched old man consisting of white hair and long robe, pointed towards the northeast. All right, let's go. Are you strong enough to proceed, Lao? I think I should be okay. Head is clearing. Body steadier. Hurry! I felt the septuagenarian's soul fading quickly. There seems to be another more omnipotent intermingling with his. Interference. Intense ferocity. Though we have no time to lose. The team dissipated just moments before streaks of red lightning licked the sun-darkened sky with a large gray tan cloud overhead. Oh, jeez. This is bad. On their way trekking to the Temple of Elements, the group was stunned by a whoosh of wind. A funnel appeared. No worry, it's Fujjin. Sindel urged everyone to evacuate, yet Kenshi raised an arm. His sword illuminated in a turquoise hue, and he picked up a mail passing through it. It's Fujjin! Aiko cheered, the elemental's name as her heart raced for hers, and Lao's close mentor. She ran toward the decimating whirlwind. The combatants raced toward the wind elemental who seemed to have a refugee. Fujjin! Boy, am we glad to see you! Yes, indeed it is a pleasure to meet up with you too, little one. Fujjin, what of your brother? I sensed suspicious activity from Outworld, enough to disturb me as I was mourning for Hanzo. I'm afraid Raiden has taken a turn for the worst, ever since he sacrificed himself to save the lot of us from Onaga. He's been almost a vegetable in the Jinsei chamber. I watched over him, until I had no choice but to abandon my post, to assist Hanzo and Kung Lao, as she was defecting from Outworld. He shown them the stranger. This is Li Mei. She's a young soul of Sun Dao, whom I helped to seek asylum. That's Johnny! Well, everyone muttered in disbelief. Oy, got the Revenant. I had never dealt with Revenants before. I believe he's still enslaved by Onaga's corruption indefinitely, after Kung Lao stopped him. Unless if the Dragon King shall be slain, Sonya and Jax are still bound to him too. The Edenians glanced over at Katana, who had no answers. I can't be sure how to restore him. I fear the Jinsei would be infected upon Johnny's dark soul, and him being recuperated would resume his blind loyalty. If we not find a solution, he may have to be... He should be contained at least, if he seems too resistant to reason. We're on our way to the Temple of Elements. I'm sure he should take him there, for now at least. Sindel was also clueless, suffering from a resurrection and servitude to a greater evil. I am certain Onaga shall be hunting for the last relic at the temple. Yes. However, we aren't certain where it is, ever since Hanzo and Quiet arrived there by portal. I will teleport all of you there in a millisecond, Kenshi. This sacred fortress was built by my brother, and I and a few of Earth's other guardians fell to Bihan. He was still dumbfounded about that incident being bested by a mere mortal. Thank you, mythology, Sub-Zero. Whew, thank goodness. There was a mountain range, no wandering aimlessly in search of the place. With a wry smile, Fujjin ordered everyone to hold on tight before he lifted the heroes off their feet. As time passed, Aiko was discussing her relationship with Kung Lao to Li Mei. This was actually a response to, Mortal Kombat never really highlighted Kung Lao's relationships. At least not very well. It was either Jade or Li Mei, according to the fans, but I kinda nipped that in the bud. So, he seemed rather intrigued. The Outworlder saw the Crimson Heart Gem in her possession, which was the same one Lao presented her as she was tending him, symbolizing their love. Aiko mentioned it'd be used as a power source and communicator, and if enough life energy was emanated, she'd make another individual, give her and the recipient strength both physically and mentally. She is sure there's still so much to learn of her powers. I never encountered Outworlders with that kind of skill. I believe the stronger the bond is to the person, the more energy is given. It seems you have a deep connection with Kung Lao. I was about to feel the same until he mentioned his heart belonged to someone else. Apparently, it was you. Have you known him long? Over a few years now. Oh, have you known him long? Over a few years now. He was the one who showed me the Shaolin and assured the Chinese aren't a bunch of war machines, nor labor slaves. And his nephew, Kung Jin, was a joy to be around. But I doubt that the White Lotus would welcome other worlders. I see. My village seems to share some customs of Earthrealm. Even when I trained under Master Boraicho, he'd talk about the champion, the rice wine, and even his disciples, including Lao, a lot. That's a relief. If Bo doesn't become drunk, unlike when I first met him. She became irritable as she recalled meeting the big oaf intoxicated and even harmful to her, all because he failed to save the Sun Dao being enslaved by the Deadly Alliance. He saved my life, and I was on my way to Edenia when I heard my survivors were evacuating when Onaga was resurrected. Until I found him and Hanzo. I heard Bo lost his soul as he was helping Kung Lao, and before that, he made peace with the Shao Kahn, even the vicious Goro. And he slaughtered the Deadly Alliance. He truly is a hero of his realm. Aiko smiled. It was about time he was able to inspire another realm and increase his self-worth. Yes, he certainly is. She zoned out until she took out her heart gem, which still had its crimson luster. Liu Kang is also our realm's greatest hero too, even though he's a spirit. I can see why you love Kung Lao so much. No, I'm sorry. Li Mei just waved the statement away. Not at all, dear. You should be happy he has been attracted to you. And the heart jewel is proof. All of a sudden they heard distant roars and grunts emanating from somewhere inside the temple. The duo of women followed the uneasiness to a nearby pit, which looked to be about 12 feet deep. An ambush ensued as the thralled Johnny was resisting the Edenian knights. They carried and tossed him into the ditch below. That should hold you! The monstrous slab began to descend from above, making the guards panic. Kenshi immediately halted it encasing it with a telekinesis. Basically, it's based on one of the traps in mythology Sub-Zero. Thanks a lot, angry video game nerd. It is a relief we got a telekinetic in our ranks. If he should try anything, we should crush his guts and make this his tomb. Kenshi began to share the Edenian's disgust, thinking to do the same. Wait! I shall take this. Through his skills, he was able to detach and lift up Johnny's high-tech gizmo, even his own wristband. He'll never contact his infected associates without these. How do you know all this? I happen to be a part of the Special Forces, more specifically, the Outworld Investigation Agency, established by the infested Jacks. Ugh. Aiko and Li Mei looked into the pit with the former aggravated seeing one of her allies in a sorry and resentful state. Although Cage was stunned, she won't hesitate to beat whatever's left living in him. Kenshi put a strong hand on her shoulder, snapping her out of her anger. I know what you're thinking, Aiko, but we must stay alert and patrol the Temple of Elements. It's most likely he passed on the intel to his troops before it was captured, and maybe the Wuxi Academy too. I can sense something amiss near Liu Kang's tomb. I can sense something amiss near Liu Kang's tomb. I'll conjure a portal there. And that heavy thundercloud. It wasn't there before. Aiko nodded, relieved she won't have to deal with that undead and holier-than-thou trigger. Johnny Cage wasn't in her dystopian future as a revenant, but, it's kind of like deja vu. Kenshi passed the news to the Edenians to guard over that immense darkness the blind man been feeling. Much as the unsettling activity in Outworld, or like restless leg syndrome, it certainly was tugging Kenshi's nerves. Knowing of Aiko's stressors, the Elder Gods knew where Onaga and his numerous followers were. Sindel assured her of her deja vu to her, ruined future of enslaved revenants, before she and Kenshi went back to the academy. Aiko, even if you feel the realm would turn against you, know that I'll always remain by your side. Remember that. The cardiokinetic beamed as she nodded, and the duo made to the destination. But when Aiko and Kenshi reached the tomb walls, they received a distress call from their own kineses, or whatever. The Wuxi Academy was under attack! Kenshi sensed the immense dark aura emanating from a wrecked temple, believing it only to be debris. However, the opaque smoke clouds distracted them and gave them the answer they needed. Oh man, this is not good. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this if you know Deception and Armageddon, and a little bit of deja vu with 10. I know a lot of fans would prefer Kung Lao to hook up with either Jade or Li Mei. It really bothers me since it has never been established in the series. Just fan speculation and sometimes lust. It's irritating. Especially since Aiko loves him a hell of a lot more than those harems. So, I settled the score as she was discussing with Li Mei on her own genuine relationship with him. There won't ever be a threesome either. And, if anyone should be a replacement for Liu Kang, it should be Kung Lao. He's more deserving than the newbie is. Like seriously, they all think Li Mei is a replacement of Liu Kang and not Kung Lao. Ever since Deadly Alliance. What the hell? This was where the neat exotic song I just played would come in. And Li Mei comes to terms with Lao and Aiko. I first discovered that tune from the Seiko clock I have, and I've grown hooked ever since, as a sort of nod to them. Maybe an idea by Li Mei, discovering that ancient song. Honestly, I was lucky to come up with the idea on Katana restoring her memories, with Gerard thus breaking her revenant thrall. Not sure how to deal with them other than beating the shit out of them. I hate those revenants with a fiery passion. No matter who it is, I'm sorry. I just hate them. Especially if there should be no reversal or they refuse to see the light again, like Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And I figured Ermac taking the identity of the slain Adenian champion might be a nice solution as to who'd use the Kamidogu after all. Ermac always conceals his face and eyes. So why not take advantage of it like Shang Tsung, as they can both control souls given by Khan. I was kind of getting tired with Conquest too, so I think the next segments may just be flashbacks or something. Sorry, guys. I mean, I'm sure you were expecting a novelization of Conquest, but I'm not a huge Shujinko fan and it was just grinding on my nerves. Same thing with Taven's that I'm doing. Same case with Deadly Alliance, really. The ideas were just dragging on for too long, so I'd split again. And there are the songs for that. Hopefully the next part shall be up soon. See you all then. Until then, this is the Ekron Writers signing out. And man, this is a very suspenseful cliffhanger. I'll see to it on what's coming up. So I'll see you guys then.